Like a one-legged man claiming he's being slowed down by a Ferrari, Rachel Maddow now says NBC is the one that should be sorry for separating from MSNOW, formerly known as MSNBC. Rachel says that they'll be better without the big news organization and everything the network brought to the table. There's just one problem. The ratings for MSNOW are MS gone. We'll show you what's the latest right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Rachel Maddow now says that losing MSNBC and NBC is going to be a good thing for her. We have our doubts. We'll explain why with ratings. Oh, they hate it when we have those ratings receipts right now. This one's by Taylor Perslick, and it says, anti-Trump news anchor. Wow, New York Post. Wow, that is very forthright. I was not expecting that. Anti-Trump news anchor, Rachel Maddow. I don't know if that's good to say it or not. I don't know. Would you say anti-Biden, commentator Hannity? I don't know, but I'm just reading it, folks. Don't blame me. Anti-Trump news anchor Rachel Maddow defended MSNBC's rebrand to MSNOW, which sounds like an affirmation of a disease. Not brilliant. Not great. Arguing that the lefty cable channel would no longer have to vie for owner NBC Universal's leftovers, and adding that we're competing with them now. Oh, I can't wait to show you the ratings. They're really competing with them. Oh, they're competing with them so bigly. The new name and logo, which were brutally mocked online as part of Comcast's $7 billion spinoff of cable assets into a separate publicly traded company known as Versant. During a recent podcast episode of Pivot, hosted by tech journalist Kara Swisher, Maddow said MSNBC will no longer have to make do with leftovers from NBC News programming and in-field reporting. There's Rachel Maddow, or Michael Knowles, we can't quite tell. We'll get down to the bottom of it. Says, quote, in this case, we can apply our own instincts, our own queries, our own priorities to getting stuff that we need from reporters and correspondents, and so it's going to be better. Maddow's defense of the rebrand came in stark contrast to ruthless jokes across the internet that quip the new name, short for My Source News Opinion World, actually stands for Majorly Skewed News Overly Woke, or Most Surely No One Watching. Others started calling the channel BS Now, or that's a good one, or jibbed. I always appreciate it. Guys, I appreciate it when somebody gets the word jibbed in. Do you know how seldomly I get to say the word jibbed? I think this is the first time in the history of the channel that I have actually got to read the word jibbed. Thank you to the author on this one. Jibbed, that MS, now a space away from the rest of the channel name, looks like it stands for the disease we were mentioning. Not a great name. Not a great name. Sorry, Rachel. Now, why am I a bit of a cynic? Why am I skeptical that they're actually going to compete with NBC News, a network news channel? Folks, they were siphoning off of them the whole time. MSNBC is a parasitic kind of channel. Let me show you how bad this is. This is bad. This is the most recent. We had this published August 16th out of Adweek, the Tuesday, August 12th evening cable news ratings. 5 leads again. That's not the headline you need to see. Here's what you need to see. Out of the demo, just so you know how bad it is for Rachel Maddow and the rest. The demo is what matters, okay? The demo are the viewers from 25 to 54. We're not trying to say that if you're 55 years old, you don't count, but the demo is counting the people who are most likely to buy the stuff in the commercials. That's who the advertisers are paying to be seen by, okay? How many views are they getting? In the thousands again, okay? Jen Psaki, who is Rachel Maddow's replacement, because Maddow only appears on the channel 1 day a week. She has essentially bankrupted this channel. They can't afford others, and she won't work more than 1 day a week. Hear me again. Rachel Maddow works 1 day a week. She's paid millions, and this poor, starving, struggling cable news channel, I use news a little even frivolously, we might say on that one, they can't afford people because Rachel Maddow won't work, but she's got a heck of a contract. Jen Circleback Psaki averaged 67,000 people in the demo. Jen Psaki, who was a press secretary for Biden, 67,000. That's more than Hayes, who was just before her, with 64,000. The beat goes on. No, it doesn't. Not here. Brett Baier out of Fox had 226,000 in the demo. The beat had 60. The beat had 60. That is less than 1/3 of what Brett Baier is getting. And Brett Baier is not the biggest show on Fox News. Folks, I don't want to be braggadocious, but to put that in contrast, we have videos. We have single videos on this channel that often beat MSNBC, and we're not a cable news channel broadcast all over the country. I didn't start this channel with the thought that we were going to beat former secretaries, right? Press secretaries of the United States. I didn't come into this and think, you know what, we'll definitely beat people who worked in the White House. Yet that's what's happening regularly. We're beating Jen Psaki. And listen, I'm not trying to, we'll just stop right there and I'll say this. Rachel Maddow is either the best, worst liar ever, or she is insane if she thinks that losing NBC is going to go their way. Vash, let me go to you first. They're losing all of the infrastructure that they had with NBC.
Right.
They are headed for MTV territory, where I don't know what they're going to be, except just maybe like an AI reading the news 18 hours a day, and then throw Rachel Maddow on Mondays. Vash, is she crazy, or do they just lie continuously?
Boy, look, I understand it's a tough time out there for commentators, especially ones that are part of what BS now. Oh, sorry, MS now. We talk about it all the time, but linear news, especially 24-hour news and so forth, it's a dying breed. And I suppose the idea here is to, claim your territory, stake out your territory, and defend your position right here. But I mean, you're attempting to fight over scraps as far as I'm the way I'm looking at it, and who knows how long MS Now is even going to last now that it's not connected to Comcast or this kind of larger telecommunications industry or entity. It has to perform on its own, and with ratings like that, what you just showed, I just don't see how that's going to be possible going forward. It just doesn't seem like. Let's put it this way, Vash. Let's put it this way.
Okay, when it comes to MSNBC, MS Now, I suppose MS was maybe is what we should call it real soon.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. When we put out a video here on this channel, and it goes out and it gets, let's say it's a video that gets 70, 80,000 views, right? When we put a video out like that, that video may have been touched by 3 to 6 to 7 people in total from the time that we go in, from the time we go to research to the time we go into production, post-production, and then it's released. And it's a very quick turnover because we're handling breaking news, okay? MSNBC/MS Now, I'll guarantee you that it's not 3 to 7 people that are handling a show, right? You are talking about hundreds, if not thousands of people that work for MSNBC, MS Now. And they are being beaten by YouTube channels, with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I just don't understand how they can even, here's what's going to happen in my mind. And Lauren, you hop in and let me know if I'm wrong about this. I see no other way out of mass layoffs coming very soon. And Rachel Maddow, who's sitting there saying on her crown, we're going to be better than ever. She's going to make the millions because they can't break the contract. She's going to make millions of dollars. And all of these people, the camera people, the gaffs, the writers, the researchers, they're going to get fired.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong about any of that, but I don't. I guess I'm surprised that you're surprised. Rachel Maddow, as you said, has the contract. She's making loads of money. It doesn't matter to her what happens to the network. She's set. When it comes to the camera people, the gaffers, all of the people that make the production work behind the scenes, yes, they're likely to lose their jobs, but they also have a skill that's transferable. So I'm less concerned about that. Obviously, there will be an impact if and when that happens, but I suspect that they will be able to move on and find other jobs. I think that the most interesting statement that Maddow made in that statement that you read is, we're not going to have to settle for their leftovers anymore. Another way of saying that is, we're not even getting their leftovers anymore.
Yeah,
and it's like, I think perhaps you're obviously this was said in a state of pique. I'm sure they're upset about the way things have gone, but you're overestimating, I think, what you can deliver without the resources of the backing parent company. This is not going to be the same operation. You're going to have to make up some slack there, and it's unlikely that that's going to happen.
Well, we're already hearing about, NBC is taking the top talent. And I don't have the article in front of me. I wish I did. But NBC basically, NBC and MSNBC shared talent, right? So somebody who was on NBC News, if MSNBC needed a reporter to come over and explain something, they would grab that person. It was a shared newsroom. Well, the talent is all going to NBC. So MSNBC, MSNOW, is having to hire brand new people, like 100 journalists.
Right.
Well, good grief. That means they already don't have money. So they're going to fire everybody they can. But these 100 people that are being hired, you're creating a brand new team. This is like a game of pickup basketball where you don't know how anybody performs because they're all brand new.
Right. And those people with the transferable skills that I was talking about just a little bit ago, they will likely go into the space that we're now occupying, the new media. That's exactly what Megyn Kelly and folks like her did, and they will have had insight about what was going on behind the scenes. Some of them will have, I'm sure, some ability to act in front of a camera. These people are going to remake themselves as the new pundits in this space, is my opinion.
I agree. I'll tell you. So, Lauren, you made a good point about Pro. I can't believe you're surprised about this. It's not that I'm surprised, except in one way. It's that the lie is so egregiously bad and so apparent to even the watchers of MSNBC. Like, nobody who is sane hears that and thinks, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." It's like if a Pee-wee football team that was being shepherded by the Green Bay Packers, if that relationship was severed, and they said, well, at least we don't have to have that darn NFL talent helping us anymore. Now we'll really be able to grow. It's like, nobody believes that. There's not one sane person in your viewership that's going to believe it. And yet she said it. She said it. It's amazing to me. Like, come up with a better lie. You can lie about it. You can say you're happy. This is the opportunity we've all been waiting for. I can come up with 100 lies that are better than the way she played it. That's where my shock is how bad she is at it.
Is it a way to maybe improve morale around her? Is it a way to maybe placate viewers in some way and ensure to them that everything's going to be okay and that they're going to be bigger and better than ever? I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like to me. It sounds like almost posturing, but it's obviously not coming from a place of any reality. When you know this business, when you understand the ins and outs of this business, this was an enterprise that was really being subsidized by a larger corporation in the form of Comcast. Without those resources and having to, hire up or staff up in order to match the output that you were producing before, or maybe less to a certain extent, it's just going to be a monumental task.
Monumental indeed. I don't think they're up to the task. I think this thing. Listen, this is a funerary march, and Rachel Maddow is pretending it's something else. This thing is on its last legs. Look at the logo. Look at that logo. I can go into ChatGPT and make a better logo than that in 5 seconds for $5. Good grief. Later, Rachel Maddow, you're not fooling anybody. Not us, not nobody, not even your own viewers. MS Now, soon to be MS Was. We try to run a tight ship around here, Vash, and I did not realize until we were halfway through that segment that the Super Chat Chiron at the bottom, that's what they call the thing at the bottom, the little ticker tape, the Chiron, was still up there, the Super Chat one. But folks, I just want you to know, listen, here's a look behind the scenes. We got 750 of you joining in across the interwebs. By the way, welcome to all of you watching from GeoCities. You're welcome here, as well as ICQ. Folks, I want to show you what a challenge it is sometimes to do it live, okay? I know, Rachel Maddow, I know that those who are in the legacy media, they don't know the struggles that the new media have as we do it live.
Do it live!
Thank you, Bill. But let me show you how hard it is, okay? Everybody look at what we were facing with this last story. Look to the right, okay? This is the kind of stuff we got to dodge. Page 6. Sharon Stone, 67, ditches underwear and daring dress with sky-high slit. You know how well that's going to go over? Yes, exactly, Lauren. You got it? Yeah. Huh? Okay. Well, guess what, folks? Here's the secrets. Here's the magic of what we have to do. Watch what happens if I scroll up. And I just want you to know how careful we had to play this the whole time. You ready? Thank you, New York Post. Can you all see that? Let's full screen this just for a minute. This is what poor Pro had to fool with. Now, this is the New York Post recommending articles to us. And of course, they got to run the clickbaity stuff at the top. So we're trying to be a serious news channel here. And the top left one has Britney Spears basically in the buff. And then to the next one over says Ozempic, and I can't say that word, is making women look aged and droopified in certain areas. Folks, this is what I had to dodge. You didn't know it. I was dodging that the entire segment carefully, zooming in and out of our panel so that would not appear, so that when we turn that into a highlight later, people don't freak out and say, I can't believe he would put something like that up on the screen. That's just profane. Vash, did you even know I was doing that? Did you realize what I was?
No, I went to the website myself in order to look over some information, and yeah, it's all over that. And this is why sometimes I got to go in the reader mode on some of this stuff, because you can't risk it, bro. I mean, you just need the wrong word or the wrong thing to pop up, and now demonetized right there in live time. And that's part of the reason why we put together those visual packages for everybody to actually view something on the screen. That way we can more tailor it towards YouTube.
I'm not going to click on it, folks. I promise I won't click it. Jonas would be here in a moment. His radar would start firing. He would know that something's wrong. I'm not going to click the second article there. Okay, but I'll tell you this: if I put the Britney Spears thing in the thumbnail tomorrow, we're going to have a big show. But I'm not going to click that second one. But I would be lying if I didn't admit I'm a little bit intrigued as to just what even that's talking about. I mean, I'm not telling you that I got a problem with it. I'm just here to say, what the heck? What the heck? You're telling me that never mind. I won't go there. I won't talk about Ozempic and droopiness in certain. Nope, not gonna. Stay out of it. Gonna get in trouble.
This is Wilton the Troll reporting for That's Park Place, and I'm surrounded by loving and adoring people who are peacefully trying to make sure that poor kids aren't cold in the winter. And just behind me, you can see a totally natural bonfire for baking cookies or making marshmallows.
Yeah, so, Wilson, we really appreciate the effort and stuff, but we're looking for real and, accurate news reporting on That Park Place.
So not like most news outlets, huh?
No.